Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Quantum Leap morning leap session for Friday, June the 10th, 2016. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we come together in this live session to take a look at the market, macro to micro, structure of the market, then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. We're going to go in just 1 second, but please read through the disclaimer. Nobody at Quantum Leap is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized learning environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and any trades that you see in Quantum Leap are for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence, your own trade plan, and own your risk metrics. Okay, let's get the news out of the way right away. We just had unemployment change employment change and unemployment rate. They came out better than expected. Didn't really affect the market much. The market just went in and made new lows. The big news will be the University of Michigan consumer sentiment and expectation preliminary reports, and then we've got the federal budget coming out at 2 o'clock. So not a lot of news today. Taking a look at yesterday's trade levels, our main hypothesis was a move down and then slow grind up, and there was our secondary hypothesis. One of them was a move and failure and then a break to the lower side. So that was the main hypothesis. Secondary hypothesis was a move down into the 96, 95 area and then a slow grind up. Kind of played out like that. We just didn't get all the way down to the 97 and 96 area. We only got to 97 and a quarter. But once we got inside of this prior day range, we just basically just grinded, slowly grind up slower. We did not fill the gap. That was a low probability. Same thing with today. I was just looking at the stat. Yesterday's range low is 97 and a quarter, and taking a look at where we're at, we're between 7 and 8 points below the range low. So we've got a very low probability of taking that gap out again today. Just creating some targets above. This move down means nothing. It's just a small correction, and the market is not rolling over yet. We've got too much unfinished business to do above us right now, at least in my opinion. Let's take a look at the macro to micro. You can see that the trend is still very much intact on the monthly. We don't even begin to challenge this longer time frame trend until we get down into that 2040 area. Going to the weekly, we're still in this upward trend. We don't even challenge the 9 until we get down to 2069. Remember that 2069.75 is a key level for us, but we've got slope and separation to the upside. On the daily, we are challenging the trend right now. On the daily, we've basically been going sideways for the last 3 days. If you notice, last few Globex sessions, they've taken it down, and then the RTH session has rallied it back up. But right now, we're below the 9. Our key line in the sand is going to be that 95, 96 level above us. It was our key line in the sand below yesterday. Now it becomes above the one above us. A test of the 20 SMA will take us down into the 2071 area. Remember that 2070 is the midpoint of that gap zone. But basically, we are challenging the trend on the daily. As we move to the intraday, you can see that we've had this downward move overnight, and we've got slope and separation to the downside. But right now, we're coming into this heavy support area where they keep buying it back up, so we've got to watch out for that. Going to the 1 hour, I don't know who's calling me at this time. We've got good slope and separation to the downside. This trend is pretty strong coming into the RTH session. Going to the 30-minute.
No one is available to take your
Hold on
call.
a second.
Please leave a message.
Sorry about that. And we continue to move down, in this trend on the 30-minute, going to the 15-minute. You can see we've got, we came up, tried to challenge that trend. See the FUBAR Mr. Sneaky? We closed that tech gap by time and price, but now we're going down even further. And then on the 5-minute, we've got this downward trend. So as we move to the shorter time frame, we are seeing a strong trend into the RTH session to the downside. Okay, let's take a look at the structure of the market. So we broke this 95.25, our key line in the sand. We're coming down to close this naked close down here at 89. And then we're coming in and we're getting down to challenge the value area of these two microcomposites. The 4-day microcomposite VPOC is down here at 85.25, but the overall, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days with the holiday, 7 days without, that VPOC is all the way down here, down at the 79 at the midpoint of, 79, which was our midpoint before the shift in the contracts, the 9-point premium. But more importantly is the microcomposite VPOC is down near where it was the last time we were up here. So that's down at 76, 75. So we're coming into this distribution zone. If they hold below the 2091, which is the 4-day microcomposite value area high, I would anticipate they're going to continue to move down into this 85, possibly even come down into the 79. During the course of the day. I'm expecting buyers to come in somewhere down here around the 76 to 79, maybe even the 73. If we get below the 73, look for, that's going to be a really nice trade because that's going to take us into the gap, and I'd be looking for them to come down at least to the 70, to the midpoint of the gap, if not all the way down to fill the gap down here at 66. The range gap is closed at 68 and 68.50, and the naked close is down at 66.50. And then of course that puts us back inside of this larger value area and back into this this distribution zone where we've got all this undetermined fair value, and back towards that key level, which is our composite VPOC and microcomposite VPOC that is down in that 2042 level. If we hold above the 87 level and start to move back up, look for them to come up and challenge the 95.25 from below, possibly even the range low from yesterday at 97.25. But unless something spectacular happens, you got to think that based on the close from yesterday being all the way up at 2105, that we've got less than a 15% probability that we're going to make it back up there today. But it is Friday. It is OPEX rollover. Who knows? But certainly that Pitbull low on Friday is certainly playing out in spades. So let's go to the Globex, start putting our numbers in. So our Globex high is all the way up at 21.05 just near the close from yesterday. And basically just above the value area high. Yesterday was a double distribution. We're going to talk about that in a minute. The overnight low, well, we're still putting it in, so I don't know where it's going to be. The VPOC is not going to change. It's going to be at 92.75. I do anticipate that we are going to come back up and challenge this overnight VPOC. If we open up down here, 97% probability of going and challenging the overnight VPOC. I can't put the low in because we keep putting new lows in. We've got, this thin area right here between, which I basically started, I'm saying 97.75, but really it's 98 because that's the value area right there. So I'm going to put a trade level in at 98. 97.25 isn't as important to me because of the fact that we've got this thin area, and if we get above the 98, then I'm looking for a move into this lower distribution. If we get inside of the value area, you've got a really strong trade, up into testing and taking out the VPOC, especially because of the fact that it is a centennial number as well, and basically it's the HVN of the lower distribution here. First target after that is going to be the 2101, and then we've got the midpoint and the VWAP and the prior range low up here at the 2102.25. So I'm going to be targeting that. But really, you got to be looking at a move to test the upper side of this this distribution up at 2104. And then, of course, we've got the overnight high and the naked close up there, and the value area high. I'm going to target that value area high if we get above the LVN of the double distribution. Low probability, but lately we've been experiencing a lot of low probabilities in this marketplace. And then above that, you've got the 2107.75 range high, and then the naked close and naked VPOC up at 09 and 9.25, with the all-time high and the range high at 10.75, and then above that you've got targets at 12, 16. Let's do our daily. Well, we still can't do our daily upside target. Let's do our daily downside since we're waiting to see how low we go. 2105.25. Our daily ATR, 20-day ATR, is running at 2006, so it continues to tighten up. We're compressing for some type of a move here. Whenever you see that 20-period daily ATR compressing, you know that you're going to get some type of a major move coming off of that. So 2105.25 minus 2006. That gives us a downside ATR target of 85.25. Well, look at that. That's a target of ours too. Okay. I guess I'm going to try to do this upside ATR target. So the low is 89.25 plus 2006. That gives us a upside ATR target of 2109. Interesting. Getting very crowded, in this 2100 to 2110. All right, so we're going to be opening way out of range, way out of value. We've got our naked VPOC down here at 2090. We've got the naked close at 89. We really don't need anything here right now. I'm going to put the overnight low in, but again, it's probably going to to change. Don't need this anymore, so we'll move it out of the way. Our composite. So we've got 89, and we've got this 86.75. Our target at 85, which is this microcomposite VPOC. I'm going to just move our daily ATR down one so we can bring this to the front. And this is also our next big target below. MCV park, and next big target below. Okay, and then below that, we've got that 82 1/4, and then we've got the 78, 79, and I'm using 79 because it's the prior midpoint, and it's also MCV POC. And then we've got the 77, 75, and then we've got the 73s, and then the next big target is down here at the gap mid. 68.50 is going to be shifted to 69.75, and then a move into the gap below the 69.75. I'm looking for the gap to get filled, and the range gap is at 68.50, and then the naked close at 66.50, and then 62, 61, and our weekly ATR target is still down at the 20.55. Nothing, we haven't put a new low in on the week. The week low right now on the September contract is at 20.85 1/4. All right, so those are all our levels that we have to pay attention to. So let's talk about the hypotheses. We're going to open auction out of range. So first thing, anytime we are opening auction out of range, we have to think about an open drive. Seeing initiative sellers stepping in and just driving us down towards that microcomposite VPOC. More likely, we're going to see an open auction out of range. We're probably going to have a tick gap down. So my main hypothesis is a rotation up into the 92.75 area, and then somewhere between 92.75 and 95 1/4, possibly the 97 1/4. I'm looking for initiative sellers to step in and rotate us down into this 85 1/4 level, and then chop around in this level, possibly get a late day probe down into that 78, 79 area. So Hypo 1 is an open auction in range, a rotation up into the 90s, finding initiative sellers, somewhere in the 90s, and then rotating down through towards the 85 1/4 and 79. That's Hypo 1. Hypo 2 is exactly the opposite. Open auction in range or open drive, and push us down through into that 85 to 79 area, and then chop around here and find our buyers and start working our way up back towards this 92 to 95 area. I don't expect the range to be really big today. It is Friday. So I'm really thinking that we're going to have some type of range between 98 and 75. So Hypo 2 is open auction in range or out of range, move down, find responsive buyers somewhere between 85 and 79, chop around in this area, and then slowly work our way up towards the 95 level. Hypo 3 is an open drive, a push down into the 85, chop around in this area, then get a continuation down into the 79, possibly into the 75 area down here, possibly even a move into that gap zone and down into the 60s. Hypo 3 is an open drive or an open auction out of range, but a definite push down lower, chop around in the mid 80s, high 90s, and then get a continuation wave down. Hypo 4 is an open auction in range, move up out of range, move up, chop around into the 97 area, and then break into the value area and work our way up through the lower distribution of the double distribution and chop around in this area. It's going to be interesting. Anything can happen today because of it being, the last Friday before OPEX. Quad witching to be exact. Right now we're in the lower Keltner channel. A move up to the center line will take us up into that 94 area, probably even 95 and a quarter by the time we get there, but it'll be a move back into that overnight VPOC, which is a high probability. A move down to test the lower channel will take us down 88 and a quarter. We could do that before the open. We've still got 20 minutes, and we could put a lower low in. Have we put a new low in? Let me just check my... No, still at 89 and a quarter, but we're right there. So we could put do a make and break on our overnight low. Put the low in right as we're opening the RTH session. Just a quick look at gold. Gold is still chopping around in this new microcomposite. VPOC is down at 1263.40. Remember, our key target above right now is up at the 79.20. We're slowly working our way up there. Look for some responsive selling coming in at the 79 and probably a rotation back down to the HBN, the CHBN here at 1270, if not the 63.40 area once we tag this. But if we come up and accept this and don't rotate off of it quickly, look for push through up into the 85, 86 level. And the next major resistance comes in at the 88, 89. Anything above that, I'm looking for that move into the 1300. If we get below the 1261, you got a pretty decent target down here at 58 to get funded, but I'd be looking for a bigger move back down into the 1244, if not the 1237.60, the composite VPOC, or the most traded price going all the way back to 2008. Okay, that's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.